What's up, guys, and welcome to my draft analysis. I have my boy John, aka Gigaleza,
Hi.
and today we're gonna just go through my draft. I want to put kind of like a disclaimer because my first pick of the whole draft is actually pretty broken. But before that, I want to also go over how LUPDs ran. LUPD stands for Liberty University Pokemon Draft, and we have like it's pretty much ran as any other draft league. One special condition is that we don't use legendaries, which was mainly pushed by John. So John, why don't we use legendaries?
So, basically, I thought it'd be a good idea just because it brings in more, diversity. Because, if you allow legendaries, I have nothing against them or anything, but, if you put legendaries in, everyone's going to have a legendary, and everyone's going to use, the same cookie cutter Pokemon. I thought without legendaries, we'd see more diversity, more lower tiered Pokemon, and
Yeah,
all that. That was basically my thought process.
yeah, and I think a lot of people agreed. Actually, most of everybody except for one, I think, agreed. And honestly, I don't really want to go up against a Landorus. I don't want to really go up against like a Kyurem Black. I just to me watching those kind of draft leagues, it's like, oh, you already know what it's gonna do. It's gonna destroy. And I think this will allow us to kind of look at other mons that aren't necessarily picked up just because of that slot being a legendary. We understand that legendaries kind of uh, have like make tiers established or establish certain tiers or like the glue of that tier, but at the same time, it's like we're just here to have fun. So that's what LUPD is. That's what our dream is. That's what we're trying to push. Um, but let's just go right into the draft. So my first pick, I was ninth seat. I had to pick ninth, which sucks. I hated it. Wanted I was the one who had to randomize it, and I almost redid the randomizer just because I didn't want to be like the ninth pick. I didn't think I was going to get any of the picks that I wanted. I actually got every single pick that I wanted, and the picks that I was like kind of on the fence on, I was able to trade off, and I was pretty happy. So my first pick, I could not resist. I was never gonna pick this Pokemon because I thought it was gonna be taken away just like that, but my first pick was actually Greninja. Um, so Greninja is a great mon. Obviously, it has a great ability. It can change typing. I have it as my Z captain, um, and the fact that it kind of came to ninth place was insane. Like a lot of people were saying, and including myself, it's just broken, especially in this kind of draft format. Um, but I just could not resist it, especially since again, I was the ninth pick. I wanted to pick a Pokemon. I wanted to pick at least two to three Pokemon that I was very comfortable with first before going into Pokemon I've never used. And Greninja was one of them. I love Greninja. Uh, I wanted to use it as a Z captain to capitalize on the fact that I can change typings. And the fact that I was chosen ninth was insane to me. What do you think, John?
So Greninja's probably my favorite Pokemon, and I sort of really wanted to use it, but for the team I was thinking about making, he didn't really fit, so that's why I didn't pick it. I was very surprised that Greninja lasted that long. I thought he'd be one of the first taken, and he's just really powerful with the
Yeah.
Protean. One thing we should mention is Ash Greninja isn't actually allowed, so
Hmm.
but even then, I think Protein's a lot better than Ash Greninja.
Yeah.
And
Especially
again,
for
just the
draft
fact,
format.
yeah, especially for drafts, because especially since he's your Z captain,
Hmm.
that means he gets stab Z any move that he can use.
Hmm.
I mean, Protein plus Z moves is ridiculous.
Yeah. It's definitely like a nuke, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, I want to also put out there that although it's broken, again, it was chosen ninth, and this was really funny. But a Ribombi was chosen before it. That was insane. I lost my crap when I heard that
that
because
was that was really
that
hilarious.
was
And
so funny.
The dude who even like chose it was like, "Is Rombombi like taken yet?" And we just lost it. I couldn't.
Everybody, I was like, yo, is this guy for real? Like, holy crap. But anyways, let's go to the second pick. So it's a snake draft, so it went from we have 16 participants, so it went from ninth back to 16th and then back to me. So my second pick was another monster that I just again I could not resist. I actually wanted Mega Charizard X, but that was taken, and I was kind of sad. But at the same time, I was like, well, there's another Pokemon that's just absolutely it would absolutely wreck the tier, and I chose Mega Lopunny. Um, and if you guys don't see, actually in the corner, I have the nickname that I will be probably choosing for the draft, and I named it Lola Bunny, and I mean Greninja's called Jiraiya for obvious reasons.
Right.
But Lola Bunny over here is my Mega Slot. I have kind of a good experience with it. I've challenged my school friends with Megalopunny. It's a monster, it has huge attack. Its base attack is 136, so that's nothing to laugh at. Speed tier is 135. I think it outspeeds a majority of a majority of the mons like drafted, and I mean it has access to like fake out, has access to last resort, has access to power up punch. It's just a great mon. So what do you think about it, John?
So it was actually a Pokemon I was thinking of drafting. Um, and I sort of wanted because it is a real beast of a mon. Like it's super fast, it's super powerful, and like fake out is like super useful. And the fact that it gets scrappy is ridiculous because like when I think of like Megalopony, like I just think of Sableye because like he's ghost, he can
Hmm.
like he's immune to normal and fighting types, but then you got to remember it's got scrappy. So goodbye Sableye. Even a Mega Sableye will get destroyed by it. So
Yeah,
I was Megalopony is like a really great pick as a
yeah.
Mega slot. Probably, in my opinion, one of the best Megas, and I really wanted it, but you took it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, man. Yeah, I actually helped out a lot during my first week battle. That was posted obviously before this, but it had, you know, I was actually really nervous about my first week just because of what was it? Mimikyu. And the fact that it had Scrappy and the fact that it had Fake Out, I could just destroy that disguise and then retaliate with Return. So it was such a great utility mon. It has great speed. Obviously, it really can't take a lot of hits, but it can definitely dish out a lot. And I think that's especially with these first two picks. I think that it really defines uh, kind of the um, kind of the goal that I'm trying to capture with this team, which is hyper offense. And I definitely um, I love hyper offense. I'm more of a defensive player. I just want to try a new play style, and so I'm very happy with these first two picks. Um, so
That's one thing you mentioned before with the Mimikyu. Like when I watched the battle, I never even thought about that, and like just the fact that you could fake out the disguise out, like again, like I never even thought about that with like Scrappy,
mhm.
because I don't know if any other Scrappy Pokemon get fake out. I'm sure that, oh yeah, Kangaskhan does, but like I never even thought of that, and like when I saw it, like I don't know, like I just really loved it, and like I want to use it.
Yeah,
Like
it's really a cool Pokemon. Like honestly, in OU, it really doesn't do much. To be honest, like I don't really see it as often as other mons, like again Landorus, Magearna, all these powerhouses. But it definitely has a place, and in draft league, it's a monster. A lot of people have even contemplated on banning it. Um, so I'm just glad I picked it up because I don't want to. I don't want to face this. I didn't want to face this, and I definitely did not want to face a Medicham, which was actually one of my choices for a mega slot. But yeah. All right,
Medicham.
we're gonna move on to my third choice. So for my two UU picks, I needed to start getting hazard removal mons and start, working on some cores. I've been watching a lot of videos, and a lot of people do water, fire, and grass cores, and steel fairy, and um, dragon cores. So I kind of want to start some of those cores. I already have a water mon, so I didn't really need anything other than that. And I wanted to start my just because this is kind of a harder thing to gather. I wanted to start my steel fairy and dragon core. So my first choice is another reliable mon, which is my scissor, which I call Edward Scissorhand. um, and I I mean, this is pretty much straightforward. Technician boosted, bullet punch. It has defog, which is a huge thing, which is another reason why I specifically wanted it. Um, it has access to U-turn. I can, U-turn out of there. It has access to roost, which was a huge thing for my first battle. I actually almost did not bring roost on my scissor. Thankfully, I did because my scissor was a huge. You have to watch the first battle. It helped out a lot. It was definitely uh, needed, um, and it just like rinsed through the team that I was against. So, what do you think about this, John?
So like Scizor, I think is a great defogger. It's a great like defensively. It's great. It could take hits defensively. Obviously, it's got that steel bug typing, which all you gotta do is like you could even use an ember on it and it'll die. But like I saw your first battle and that roost like you said that really came in clutch. And I think if you didn't bring roost, that might have went a little bit differently.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
you're able to get like sword dances up and like roost your health and like it really just shows that Scizor is he's another beast. Like he is insane. And the fact that he gets defog, that's really good. Uh, and yeah, I really don't know what else to talk about Scizor. He can set up sword dances extremely easily as long as there's no like fire threat.
Yeah, and it's such a great defensive mon, which, I said I wanted an offensive team, but, I can't rely just on offense to get me through the season. So if I need it, Scizor can be a defensive wall, which
Yeah, and
is
like Scizor, he can be defensive, but just in one turn he becomes super offensive.
exactly, and exactly what I brought. That's exactly what I brought. I brought a fully defensive Scizor with Sword Stance, and it just swept through the team, and I was absolutely happy about it. So Edward Scissorhand is definitely going to be. I feel like it's going to be an all-star in this whole draft just by that one battle. I think, honestly, it will revive my love for Scissor because honestly, like I look at Scissor, I'm like, it's but I can't wait to see what it does. But anyways, I'm gonna go on to my fourth pick, which is my Togekiss. Togekiss I have used a few times. I've used in a few challenges at my school. Um, I I love its ability, Serene Grace. I don't really think I use it effectively, but I did pick it up because one, it is a fairy, and I would have picked up Sylveon, but honestly, I love the fact that this thing also learns Defog, and the ability, it just has such a diverse move pool where I just felt comfortable with it, and I felt, at peace. It has Heal Bell, so it's just I think that I can use it in a lot of ways. Again, this is a great, it can be used offensively and defensively. So that's another reason why I picked it up. I'm naming my Togekiss Omelet because I like omelets, and honestly, it looks like one to me. I mean, I guess my omelets look a little weird, like it has wings or something, but that's just my opinion. What do you think, John?
So I like omelets too, Christian. But um, Togekiss, I really like Togekiss. It's one of those Pokemon that I really, really love, but I like never use. Like I don't have one in game. If I ever used one, it was on Showdown. Actually, like I have Togepi Breejex because I made my sister a Togekiss. Like she has a Togekiss I made for her.
Mm-hmm.
And again, defog, it's always good, especially in singles. Those traps are a huge thing. But Togekiss, of course, is a para-flinching god.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you get that Thunder Wave off, you're now faster, and you could just air slash, and you got that, what is it? I think a 60% chance of it not moving due to either paralysis or flinching. And even then, you don't even need to do something like that. It's got a lot of versatility. Like you could run Heal Bell, it gets Wish. It's a very good cleric, which I love my clerics. I love using Wish on like all my
I
teams.
know you do. Oh my gosh.
And Heal Bell is another one that I like using because one burn can completely destroy a Pokemon like your Scissor. If you burnt your
Mm-hmm.
Scissor, that thing's
It's done.
basically done.
Yeah.
There's no use for it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're at max attack, it could still see some use.
Yeah.
But
other than that, it's useless.
And even not as a cleric, you could even run Togekiss as just a straight up sweeper. You could maybe slap a choice scarf on that
Mm-hmm.
and
Get some.
go ham.
Yeah. Get some flinches.
Yeah, I got those stupid flinches.
Yeah. 30% chance, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty stupid. But I love it. I love Omelet. I'm happy it's on my team.
I love that name.
Yeah, it's a great name. I love my nicknames, guys. So
This guy makes the best nicknames
yeah.
ever.
But next we're gonna choose a Pokemon, or I chose a Pokemon that I've been really wanting to use. I heard so some backstory. I actually uh, made a mono poison team, and this mon I kind of disregarded just because in my opinion, I wanted a Nidoking, and if you don't get it after that, then I don't know what to tell you. But I love Nidoking, but everybody tells me that this Pokemon, which is Nidoqueen, is a lot better. It's a better hazard setter. It's a better defensive mon. I'm still trying to figure that out. First battle I ever was, I used this thing. I named it Corrupt after my Nidoking, but after a little bit, I wanted to make it shiny and name it Fiona after Shrek, Shrek's wife. So I'm still trying to figure it out. It's a great hazard setter. I'm having a blast with it so far. I just kind of wish it, had more kills. Just, you know, uh, but it does its job, which is more than I ever wanted, and I love it. So I'm just happy I have it on my team. I'm happy I get the chance to try it out. It has sheer force, great defenses, hazards as in toxic spikes and stealth rocks. If no one has a poison type on their team, they're definitely going to be catching some toxic. So, what do you think, John?
So like Nidoqueen, between the Queen and the King, I like the Queen more. Nidoqueen, design wise and everything, I love more. Why people prefer using it competitively over King, I'm not too sure. I'm in your boat. Like I'm still trying to figure out why people do that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm not too sure of the stats on both of them, but I think Nidoking is more offense while Queen is more defense. But
Yeah.
even though the defense stats aren't that big of a deal to like warrant, hey, you should use Queen over King if you want to do this.
Yeah.
But it does have toxic spikes. That's cool and everything. It could set those up. Sheer force is a great ability. You could get some good damage out of that.
Yeah.
And you could slap a life orb out of that on that and do even more damage, some really good damage. And if it's again, I never used a Nidoqueen, so if it's the same like sort of similar move pool to King, it has a lot of diverse moves. I believe it gets Thunderbolt, Ice Beam, obviously your ground and poison moves. But you get a lot of like diversity in the move pool. So I think it's a good pick. I'm not sure how you would use it, me personally. And I know I just said this with Togekiss, but I would honestly only use it for like Choice Scarf.
Mm-hmm.
You can like surprise some people with that.
Yeah.
You could run it defensively with that toxic spikes. Again, if they don't have a toxic Pokemon or a poison Pokemon rather, that would really mess them up a lot.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a really good option.
Yeah. Like I said, it did its job. Last game I used it. I was pretty happy. Um, it got the damage it needed to get, and I just kind of hope that for the next few games, I start using it more offensively. Just because I just don't want to throw this mon away. I don't want this mon to be just used for hazards. Like I've been watching a lot of draft leagues lately, and some people use one mon just to set something up or just to throw away. And although it's still value member, I just want to use it more. I just want to use it in a diverse way and hopefully succeed in that area. But anyways, my next mon, I actually sniped from John. Uh,
That he did.
yeah, I'm sorry. So another backstory is that I wanted to pick up Flygon. This Pokemon's gonna complete my Dragon Fairy Steel Core. But and the reason I wanted Flygon was because again, defog. Also, I have used Flygon before, and I really feel comfortable about it, and I just really like it altogether. But it got sniped from me. So I decided to snipe John. I didn't think he was actually going to be picking this mon up. That's why I went for it. But my bad. It is a good mon, so I understand why. But still, I was like, dang. As soon as he told me, I was like, oh, dude, I'm sorry. But I picked up Gudra, and I'm gonna name it Doomdra. Uh, what do you name yours? I don't even remember.
I always name mine Goozilla. And then like
Goozilla.
the next one I'll name Goozilla Jr. Then the one after that,
Oh
Goozilla the
yeah.
third.
Yeah, what did I named mine like Goozilla too, I think, at one point. Huh. Anyways, but yeah, I picked up this guy. It's not, I mean, I don't think it really needs an explanation. It's a really good self-defensive mon, or not self-defensive, special defensive, has pretty decent HP, great special attack. You can run it, um, assault vest, special or choice specs with leftovers. It has great abilities such as sap sipper, hydration, and gooey. Gooey's a great one just because if something's faster than me, I can just kind of like send this out, um, possibly let it die, and then come in with another mon and just revenge kill. But hopefully, I won't have to use it like that. I really like the sap sipper ability. But what do you think, John? This is your baby.
So yeah, as you just said, Gudra is my baby, and he did snipe this for me, and I actually ended up using Sliggoo instead.
Mm.
But that gave me an extra RU tier pick. So, but Gudra, it's just a great Pokemon in my opinion. I love it. It's tanky. It can take hits and it could give hits, and I personally love using it as like a wall, but also as like an offensive thing.
Hmm.
I usually like to slap an assault vest on it to give it even more special defense than what it already has. And if that's not enough, this may sound weird to some people, but I just max out that special defense and HP just to make it super bulky. And for what I use it for, it works very well. But other than that, you could like run HP special attack with assault vest, and it'll take those hits really well and give them out just as well.
Yeah.
You can do like sap sipper. That's such a great ability. Like especially if you have a lot of Pokemon weak to grass or everything, you can switch into that, get that attack boost, and obviously if you're physical, you can make some good use of that.
Yeah.
Gooey, that's a great move for obvious reasons, getting that minus speed, and that can help with a lot of things. If you get Lopunny at -1, like that could hurt it a lot.
Hmm.
um, I forget the other ability. The other ability I get is like a rain thing. I think hydration.
Yeah, it's hydration.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I always wanted to try to use it on like use a rest hydration one, like have rain dance rest, but that's very gimmicky, very memey.
Yeah.
I'm actually might be bringing that on my Sliggoo for one of my matches.
Oh shoot. Is there
Yeah,
someone with
so
rank? Oh yeah, there is.
yeah,
Yeah.
so for that, if I end up battling that person, I might be bringing that
Hmm.
to make use of his own drizzle. But
The one guy.
yeah, yeah, the one guy
Yeah.
who I don't even think I'll be firsting unless he makes it to playoffs
But
and I
yeah.
make it to playoffs.
Huh?
But unless he makes it and I make it to playoffs, I said.
Oh yeah. I'm sure you
So,
will. there's a lot of great battlers in this league. In my opinion, I'm probably um, I'm kind of scared to see if I'm gonna make it in the playoffs. Like I have a pretty rough seed or seeding, um, just based off of where I'm located in the draft and the division. We're doing a divisional, by the way. So like I have to battle people within my division and like three other people outside of my division. So
Yeah, and
um,
this fool, he randomized the divisions, and he of course put me in the division with like the scariest people. So I just
scary
like to say
person.
thank you very much.
Sorry, John.
But
Anyways, let's go with my next pick. Another mon I definitely wanted to use. Some might say it's Gengar's little sister, but I'm gonna say it's gonna be called Miss Magius. I'm gonna call it Enya after JoJo's Grand Bizarro, or not Grand Bizarro. I'm sorry. Holy cow, Bizarre Adventure. Um,
is that a JoJo reference?
Possibly. I don't know why, but I always say JoJo Grand Bizarro. I don't know why I say that all the time, but
That's weird.
I don't know. It's a great movie for those who want to check it out. Or oh my gosh, memes. All right, it's a great show for those who want to check
JoJo's
it out.
Grand Adventure is a great movie.
Yeah, Grand Bizarro Adventure. Um, no, but I wanted to pick this up because it basically is a Gengar, but it has Levitate. Um,
Rip.
yeah, it rip. Um, I've always wanted to use this mon. Just, I mean, I don't really have much to say. Has a great ability, good speed tier, um, great move pool. I really just don't have a lot to say about this Pokemon, other than the fact that I wanted to use it. How about you, John?
So we're getting to my tier now. Good old NU tier. I love using Pokemon that are never used and just like bad. And like if I am using a good Pokemon that's like OU, I like using like terrible move sets. But anyway, Miss Magius, I like it. I never personally used it. I maybe used it on Showdown once or twice for fun. And there's not much to say about it except it's just, a special sweeper. It's basically like Gengar's little sister. It's not as fast well, actually, I think it's as fast or faster than Gengar, but it's obviously not as strong as Gengar. It doesn't have that poison typing, and it still has the levitate ability, which Gengar no longer has. It's the
Yeah,
sun.
rest in
But
peace.
yeah, it's just a special sweeper. It's got some decent special defense, but nothing too crazy
Hmm.
because of its not so decent HP. But yeah, that's special sweeper. That's basically what it is. You can maybe do some Destiny Bond madness
Shenanigans.
because I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure it gets that.
yeah, it does. Not gonna say I'm bringing it to my next week, but I think I am. I have to like look it over again. But
Yeah.
we're gonna move on. At this point, I started noticing that I'm actually missing most of my water, fire, grass core, and for these last, what is it, one, two, three, four picks, I'm gonna try to complete that. I'm at the bottom of the barrel on most of these, so um, I'm still proud of the picks that I drafted, but at the same time, it's like, I could have probably sacrificed maybe one of my higher picks for a better fire type because there's not like a ton of great fire types on the lower tiers. But my first pick to try to complete the fire water grass core is actually a Pokemon I did want to use too. It was actually Tangela, which I'm going to be naming Adam Levine. Great. Yeah.
So stupid.
No, but anyways, it's a great Eviolite mon. I picked it up just because I saw someone use it and I saw how troublesome it was, so I picked it up just for that reason. It has a great ability, pretty good like bulk defenses, um, decent move pool, has access to knockoff. Um, altogether, it's probably gonna be more of a defensive mon. But even before the draft like started, I definitely wanted to use this mon. I even said I'm gonna probably pick it up just so I can use it. Just try it out. Honestly, I feel like it's a steal for where it is. It's a PU pick, um, but I definitely wanted to pick that up. What do you think, John?
I really like Tangela, my spaghetti boy. I've used it on Showdown multiple times, and like it's been a while since I've used it. But I had a few battles where it was going up against like high tier like OU things. Like I was using it in like Thingos and all that. It was going up against like some OU and I think even some Uber things, and it was holding its own.
Hmm.
But Tangela and Tangrowth for that matter, but we'll obviously focus on Tangela. Like that regenerator ability is too good. I love regenerator. It's one of my favorite abilities. Being able to switch out and recover like what is it, 33% of your health or 30%
Hmm.
is super useful. And Tangela, it gets Leech Seed. That's more health recovery. Giga Drain Synthesis. That's just health recovery everywhere. But
Yeah.
even like it takes hits so well. It's with Eviolite. It's pretty bulky. Obviously, you gotta watch out for those knockoffs. Because if you knock off Eviolite, it's worthless at that point. It's basically death fodder, and
Yeah.
that's basically
I'm
Tangela's role is a wall.
Yeah. And it has a base 115 defense, so just slapping on
Yeah,
Evilite isn't it's not like a minor boost. It's a
yeah.
huge boost.
I think that's more than Porygon 2. I believe I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's more than Porygon 2's defense. It's HP. I'm not sure that, so it might even out at that point. But Tangela can definitely take physical hits
Hmm.
very easily.
Yeah, for sure. For my next pick, I actually detoured from the whole fire, water, grass core just because I saw this mod and I said, man, I really wanted to use this. I see a lot of drafters use it. They, say that it's a really good defensive mod. And I kind of noticed that just looking at my draft, I have a lot of offensive mods, which isn't, again, that's not bad because I really want an offensive team, but I do need to have some answers to some coaches that have threats like Mega Pencer or someone has a Talon Flame, I think. I just needed answers to mons that could potentially just destroy my Mega. So I decided to pick up also, not only my Mega, but, my wall, which is Tangela. So I decided to pick up my Electros, which is, it's a great utility mon. It's a Volt Switcher. It has access to Flamethrower, Giga Drain, Knockoff again. It's a great defensive mon. It has no weakness unless you have Mold Breaker. And I decided to name it Navy Eel, just because I actually couldn't think of a name, and I thought Navy Eel was pretty clever. So, other than that, it's a great defensive bond. I can't wait to use it. I can't wait to see what it does. Um, I'm gonna definitely be bringing it, hopefully in a good amount of games. But yeah, what do you think, John?
Electros, I really like Electros. Ever since I first saw him, I really, really love him. Like design wise, competitively wise, I don't think it's that great. Levitate is obviously really good. Um, and it could do a lot of things. It could be a physical attacker. I see more special attackers on Electros,
Hmm.
even though I believe it has higher physical offense. It's just, his special move pool is a lot better.
Yeah.
I have seen the rare, the coil set. I believe it does get coil, and that could be sort of useful. You get the plus in attack and defense, and maybe something else. I think accuracy, maybe. I don't know. I forget. I never used that move. But Electros is one of those Pokemon that I really love, but he's just very underwhelming, and I wish he was better. Um, how you can use him again? I would just honestly use him just as a special attacker,
Hmm.
maybe as a special tank, give him some HP and special attack EVs, or as a special sweeper with special attack and speed EVs. But you could go physical depending on your opponent, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my take on Electros.
Yeah, and it's got, decent defenses, so it can definitely take some hits, and you know,
Yeah, that's true.
that's what it's here for me.
And it has no weaknesses because of levitate.
Yeah. It kind of, I needed an electric type, and it definitely I'm definitely happy I have it. So,
It's
mine,
a good PU pick.
yeah, I think so. I was actually surprised it was in PU, to be
I
honest.
I forgot about it when we were drafting, and
Yeah,
once you did, I was like, oh no, my boy Electros.
it's like I'm just sniping your picks, man. Um, so my next two picks, I kind of went out of order just because these next two picks, I actually traded. Uh, I kind of during the draft, I was kind of on the fence on a certain Pokemon, and I chose another one, and I kind of looked at it and I said, well, I kind of messed up. But the Pokemon, and I'll get to that Pokemon later, but the Pokemon that I chose was Mufasa, which is going to be my Pyroar. Um, Mufasa, it's a great mon. I think it has a great speed tier. I think that it has a great special attack. But the thing that really butchers it is probably its abilities. Unnerve, Rivalry, and Moxie just aren't gonna cut it. And when I started looking into it more and just kind of team prepping, I was really turned off by it, and I was kind of disappointed. I really want to use it. That's the thing. That's the problem. But it's just I couldn't. So I traded that for Kumala, which is another one of John's boys, and I'm gonna be naming this one Quality. It has a great ability in Comatose. Um, it's a good defensive mon, I believe. People run defense. It's decent. Special defense is pretty good. It has a good attack. It has access to rapid spin, which is another thing that I wanted. But I think that, I mean, just based off of how I've seen it ran by John, I think it's going to do a great job. What do you think, John?
So yeah, I'd like to talk about like Pyroar.
Okay.
Pyroar again, like Pyroar's a really good Pokemon. I think it was a good pick at the like when you were drafting, but it's one of those Pokemon that could be underwhelming. I personally really like it. And again, but it really the only thing in my opinion that's weighing it down is its abilities. Rivalry is pretty good if you're against the opposite gender, but that's all to luck. Like, and I guess in a way RNG. If your opponent is bringing a girl or a boy, I think they say most people bring male Pokemon, but on Showdown, because this draft is going to be on Showdown. I know I don't. I don't know if people like want specific genders, but that will just like randomize the gender. So rivalry is really not a good ability,
Hmm.
honestly.
Yeah.
Moxie, just get out of here. I don't know why they put that on Pyroar if it's a special attacker.
Hmm.
That's just a shame. It's a waste of an ability. And then Unnerve, that's really the only ability you should be using on a Pyroar. It
Yeah.
could be useful, especially with the new berry mechanics.
Hmm.
Snorlax with Belly Drum, Figgy Berry. You
Yeah,
could
I
stop
was
that.
literally gonna use that.
Yeah,
I have to battle John later this season, and I was like, I'm bringing Mufasa
yeah,
because
because
he has Unnerve, and I got wrecked by John's stupid Snorlax. I love Snorlax, but oh my gosh, I've never faced his. It's a Figgy Berry. It has Gluttony. I hated it. I wanted to end it. It didn't happen. I was pissed. So,
yeah, Sun and Moon really gave Snorlax the like boost it needed.
mhm.
But your trade Komala, I think, was a really good trade because Komala is just a really good Pokemon. It's a great rapid spinner, like
Yeah.
a really great rat spinner, especially against toxic spikes because it could switch into toxic spikes and not be toxic because of comatose. Um, and other than rapid spinning, it could do some other things. It's got some decent special bulk, so you could take some special hits well. It has access to bulk up, so you can set up if you choose to go that route. You could run assault vest on it. You could do choice band. You could do leftovers. You could slap a berry on it. It also gets access to wish, so you can maybe do some wish shenanigans.
Yeah.
So you could really do it as like like full support, full offense, a little bit of both. But that rapid spin is really, really useful, and that's where it shines the most, I believe.
Hmm. And I saw this really gimmicky set, and then I have to send you sometime, John. Someone used a choice banded sleep talk set with Last Resort, and it was awesome. Um, I don't know if I'll use that just because I have Lopunny for that, but I definitely would love to use it at one point. Maybe if I'm getting destroyed in the season, I'll bring it just as a gimmick, just because I think it's a cool idea. I want to see a choice banded Last Resort destroy some sort of Pokemon, some poor soul. So,
I will
um,
say something a little funny. When I was first making like wanting to make a Komala, I was like on Showdown testing out different sets and all that. And when I made like my first set, I put Facade on it in case I got burned. And took me a too long of time to realize, wait a minute, Komala can't get burned. So there's really no point to Facade. Just slap return on it, and I felt really stupid.
dang, does it not get the boost because of it being asleep?
Oh, that actually is an interest. Yeah, I actually don't know. Maybe it does. I wouldn't think so. Maybe who knows?
Maybe we'll
I have
try
to
that.
look. I have to look into that.
Let's try
It
that
does
after
get
the.
like, yeah, we have to try that. It does get like if it's hit by wake up slap, it does count for that double damage because it is technically asleep. So maybe Hassad does do double damage.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But anyways, we're gonna go with my next pick. That I traded out. Um, this pick I definitely wanted to use. I saw a few draft people use it, and I didn't know it gets pure power. It's Medicham, by the way, and I named it MC Hammer. I was gonna name it Napoleon, but I didn't know how. I didn't want to test that balance, so I just named it MC Hammer. But it gets pure power. It was such a good Pokemon at the moment, but again, I kind of already have a fighting type. And I kind of didn't want to continue to aid to the whole flying weakness on my team, so I decided to hashtag it out of there. So I traded it for this Pokemon. I actually do not know how to say the name of this Pokemon. I just always had a fascination with it. I mean the nickname, by the way. But I traded for Typhlosion. The original Pokemon, it was either Typhlosion or Pyroar, and I should have chosen Typhlosion so I don't have to trade in any points. But I wanted Typhlosion just because of its ability, Flash Fire. It has the option to run Choice Scarf. It has a pretty good speed tier of a 100. And if for whatever reason someone's trying to burn or try to take out my Scizor, I can put this Pokemon in and get that Flash Fire and then retaliate with an Eruption, and that's a Gonzo. So I really like this Pokemon. I've never used it before, which is something pretty nice. I don't know how well it's gonna do, but I definitely like that ability, Flash Fire, especially with my Scizor. I think it's gonna do pretty well. I kind of wish that I was able to use Pyroar, but I just I couldn't resist, especially with the fact that this has a better ability. It has a better attack stat, I think, than Pyroar. Yeah, a little bit better. It has access to some physical moves that I might be using. I know that's not like, oh, I shouldn't be using that, but just in case, times four Pokemon that's affected by a physical attack, I'm gonna probably use it. So hopefully I can use it effectively, but if not, well, we'll always hope that we did. What do you think, John?
So first off, Metachan, the one you traded for Typhlosion, Metachan's one of those Pokemon that's very uh not good. I love Metacham and I love Mega Metacham, who I nickname respectively Megacham, and he can be good, but normal Metacham is just not that great. And I think switching it for Typhlosion was a really good play, especially after getting rid of Pyroar, because you really want that fire Pokemon. And
Hmm.
Typhlosion is a Pokemon that I used a lot in game. I have a Typhlosion in game, and I absolutely love it. It's a great uh, Special Sweeper and Choice Scarf Typhlosion can be really good, especially with Eruption.
Hmm.
And then if you switch it out after taking damage, you got Lava Plume, which is a good move. It could has 30% chance to burn. And Flash Fire, that's a great ability. Again, it's sort of like Sap Sipper. If you have anything weak to fire moves, switch Typhlosion and he gets a boost in all his fire moves, and that just makes Eruption do even more damage, or Lava Plume, of course.
Yeah.
Even Blaze isn't a bad ability on Typhlosion because once you take that damage and Eruption's not doing that much, Lava Plume's going to do a little bit more.
Yeah.
But again, that's sort of like risking it. You want to be as low as health as possible for that to really take effect. So Flash Fire is obviously the superior ability.
Yeah.
But another Typhlosion set that I personally use all the time is good old Power Herb Solar Beam. I
Mm-hmm.
think like every fire Pokemon I use has Power Herb Solar Beam, at least before Z moves. Nowadays, I just use Grassium Z Solar Beam on all my fire Pokemon. Uh, but obviously, in this draft, you already have a Z-Cat, and that's Greninja. So, Power Herb Typhlosion could be a thing if they have some groundwater Pokemon, or if they just have some Pokemon weak to grass. It could be a useful thing to do. Um, yeah, that's basically it with Typhlosion.
Yeah. Like you said, you actually just honestly said a set that I was probably gonna run with it, which is what was it, White Herb or
Power
Power
Herb,
Herb? Yeah, Power Herb.
unless I'm getting that wrong.
No, you got it right. It was Power Herb. I was either gonna run that or HP Grass. Kind of just depends on the situation, but yeah,
Yeah,
um, I think it'll do great.
I
Um,
love Typhlosion.
yeah.
He used to be my favorite starter.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's a great mon. I'm excited to have it. I'm actually excited that I got the draft picks that I got. I really like my team. I always forget about them, but I love my team. I can't
Yeah,
wait to use every single one of these mons.
I really love your team, and I even though I really love it, I'm also really sort of scared of it. I If I ever do fight you in this draft, I am not looking forward to it.
I'm not. I wasn't looking forward to fighting you. Actually, um, I mean, we're gonna probably do a draft recap with your team, but your team is very, very, very powerful, and I think I don't know if you see it, but I see a lot of great stuff from it, and we can probably go over that. But
Yeah,
other than that, thank you, John, for joining me.
no
Thank you guys for
problem.
listening in. This has actually been a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but honestly, I just love these mons, and I just love going in depth with them. Some of them I didn't really go in depth with, but that's just because I don't really want to, tell people about my secrets before battling them. But I can't wait to see what happens this season. I don't know if we're gonna grab that championship just because of how many people are here and just the fact that everybody's pretty decent at this game. But I'm hoping to at least make playoffs. That's my goal. As one of the commissioners of LUPD, I feel like I should try to strive to do the best I can and make playoffs. At least
Yeah,
that's my goal.
if you
Um,
don't make playoffs, then that's just embarrassing.
yeah, it is pretty embarrassing, and the fact that I was one of the people that created this.
You
Uh,
were the one who like started it and is running the whole thing.
yeah, well, I have help, but it just would be sad. Okay, like
I think you'll make it the playoffs easy.
hopefully, I just kind of look at other people's teams and I feel like I'm gonna choke, but anything could happen. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Anything could happen. There's a lot of newer people here as well, and I hope that they do well as well. But anyways, thanks guys. I'll probably be posting my week 2 match soon, but in any case, have a great day, have a blessed day, and see you later.
See ya.